30. Ten. 5. 3, 2, 1, go.
Welcome back live to Watson Stadium. 62 points on the scoreboard right now here in the second quarter. 41-21 Eagles up by 20. Artesia, a 3-yard return on the kickoff to the 31. That's where they'll restart again, and it's all black and gold here during this second quarter, Coach.
And this is a game where Artesia came in, a lot of confidence, feeling strong, and you wonder what's going through their minds on that sideline right now because they had themselves a big lead, and it's gone, and now they're down.
Total of 10 penalties have not helped their cause. They've had 3 turnovers, 2 fumbles, and an interception, although the Eagles have had 2 fumbles and an INT. But Hobbs with only 3 penalties for 25 yards, a big difference on the handkerchiefs. They're having a problem just like they did last week, are the Bulldogs. Shotgun, back to pass, is Estrada, fires the post to the 45. Was the ball caught or not? Looks like it was juggled, but the Eagles got to get some credit, too, from scooping over the top. Was that a nice job there, I believe, coming over, straddling. Hector Armendariz was in the area that time and just kind of reached up over the top and ripped the ball out of the numbers after it looked like it was going to be a catch, probably for a first down near midfield.
And Nathan Ciceros was the one that got his paw on it, kind of came over the shoulder and popped the ball after it was actually in his hands, and just didn't quite have enough on it to get the catch. Because good job by Ciceros there.
Artesia second and 10 from their own 31. They trail by 20 on the left hash. Receiver 2 left and right. Here we go again. Fade route this time for Estrada, far right side. High in the air, going over the high jump bar and making the catch at the 50. That will be a first down. 19 on the catch for the Bulldogs.
That was Saez right there that went up and got it, and Hector Armendariz put his shoulder deep into his back. Saez had to go to the sidelines after that catch.
Saez got 3 catches for 38 yards. That will move the chains to the Bulldogs. Only their 3rd first down at midfield now at the 50. First and 10, shotgun for Estrada. Has a man in motion right to left. The handoff's going to come around the left end. Static your step here and try to get back to the line of scrimmage and strung out to the left hash. He's coming down behind the line. Might be a hold on top of that as the ball was handed off to Saez. Remember, he's the guy that returned the kickoff for a touchdown and win last week versus Carlsbad, but we're going to wait to see what the penalty marker is here.
And Singleton got up a little gimpy there. He looks like he's got a bruised either on his knee or maybe on the back of his leg over there. He doesn't want to come out, so he's kind of staying out there in the field, but that one might be something to look at.
Still waiting for the official signal here. The referee is looking to his other teammates here to make the call to get the last signal, and we got the legal block against Artesia. That'll be a 10-yard mark-off, and 10 penalties now for the Bulldogs. That's 100 yards in penalties, Coach. 10 penalties, 100 yards. That's the football field.
That's sloppy. That's sloppy right there.
Backs it up to the 41, or make it the 39. First and 20, back to pass. Estrada of the shotgun on the slant, caught at the 50-yard line, back to the original line of scrimmage. That'll be an 11-yard snag that time for the Bulldogs.
Singleton was the first one to hit him, and he actually grabbed his leg again but then got up.
And coming up with the catch for the Bulldogs, that'll be number 40, and that is Caden Zuniga. That's his first catch of the ball game. So he picks up the double digits there. That will be second down and 10 from the 50. Back to pass again on the shotgun. Out route is going to be low to the feet of the receiver. Probably should have got down on his knees to catch that. Julian Rodriguez on the near sideline and barely unloaded the football. Did Estrada had some pressure on him, and I think Rodriguez would like to have that one back.
And Ciceros knew that he had somebody behind him, so he tried to cut underneath to get the interception. Waved his hand in front of it, trying to strike it down. Couldn't get the ball, but I think it probably distracted the view enough to make him drop it.
And he'll stop the clock again with 3rd and 10 now for Artesia midfield. 41-21 Hobbs with 4:41 left first half. Twins left and right, high snap. for Estrada, dancing around, tucks it down the middle of the field. Seam route, picked off for the Eagles at the 20. Armendariz to the 30, left hash, cuts the middle, 35, 40 to the near right side, 45, and is pulled down at the 47-yard line. So a 26-yard return after the INT for Armendariz, and the Hobbs Eagle defense back in business, as that's the 4th Artesia turnover and the 2nd INT.
And Armendariz is a ball hawk out there. He just seems to know where to find it and where it's going to be. Man, that's his 2nd interception today.
Yeah, that's 2nd for him, and 4 turnovers that we mentioned for the Bulldogs. Just can't get things clicking here. Hobbs now with the 1st and 10 from the 47. I think it's important that you get some payoff for these turnovers,
Absolutely. And, it's only been 30 seconds since we talked about Hobbs having 41 points. Here they have the ball back again.
And 4:29 left in the 2nd quarter. Twins left and a pair of receivers right as well, and for the Hobbs Eagle bench on the right side. Shotgun for Argot. 1-step drop. The curl route comes back to the 50, makes the catch, and heading up the near sideline is Jaquez, as he'll get the positive yardage and then some, make it 5 for him.
Yeah, I'd like to see him come back to that nice little counter play when you had him in trips and you brought the guy underneath and Trevino. I'd like to see us go back to that again.
That was the smallest catch of the night for Jaquez. He had a 6 earlier, but then double digits all after that. 11, 22, 47, and 75 for a touchdown. 3 TDs so far for Jaquez. 2nd down and 5 from the Artesia 48 from the right hash of the Eagles. Leading by 20, 41-21, 3:51 left first half. Pair of receivers left and right. And now we got a little communication thing going on in the backfield as Argot talks to Baeza. Baeza will get the ball in the handoff around the right end. 45, spun around by the shoulders to the 40 and does a little somersault at the end there. He's got about 9 on that carry. Let's make it 7. Make it 8. They're going to move it up to the 40.
Kind of reminded me when they tried to fling Barry Sanders like that, and he ended up back on his feet and ran for a touchdown. That almost happened there.
Baeza gets 8 on that one, moves the chains again on the first down. That's 12 now for the Eagles at the right hash 40. Into Artesia territory, up by 20 points. Hobbs taking a little bit more time on this play call. Twins left, single, or make it double receivers on the right side. Argot with Baeza again, right to the side, again to the right, and a spin trying to come back up the middle, and he's wrapped up in bear hug style that time. Good read for Artesia on the front line. Coming up to put him down to the turf was Diego Wesson, the outside linebacker. But forward progress, it looks like going to give Baeza 1 yard.
Yeah, one of the plays where Argot let that ball go, but man, that defensive end was crashing down. Argot probably should have pulled it, kept it himself, and went running.
2nd down and 9 from the 39 of the Bulldogs on the right hash. 3 men in front for Artesia's defense. Hobbs got a pair of receivers both sides. Another shot for Argot. 3-step drop back of the 46. Going to fire down the middle of the post. Bounces off a defender and the hands of Jaquez there, middle of the field, about the 15. If he would have made the catch, he was in between 2 deep defenders and probably would have galloped into the end zone. But we got a couple ricochets, and he looked like he got a flag too, Coach.
Yeah, a couple pieces of laundry.
Looked like the 37 near the line of scrimmage is where the call came from. It looks like they're going to back up 10 for the Eagles. Kind of surprised Artesia would just not take that penalty, decline it, and burn it down off there. Instead, it's going to go back to the 50-yard line and give the Eagles still a 2nd instead of a 3rd on the burn.
Yeah, at this point where they are in the field, they'd probably go for it in 2 plays anyway. You go ahead and take the yards.
3rd penalty for 35 total for the Eagles. It'll be a 2nd down and 20 now back at the 50-yard line. Plenty of time left in the first half, 2:25, but ticking. Eagles up 41-21 over Artesia. Both teams at 1-0. Twins left and right for Hobbs. Argot waits that shotgun. Baeza with the block, pass to Hawkins. Quick shot to the 50, near side to the 45, and gets upended and rolled forward for a total of 7 on the forward progress somersault.
Run a little bubble screen. They pulled a guard and a tackle from the opposite side to be lead blockers for him. So it was kind of like running a counter, but you're doing it with receivers.
7 connections to Jaquez from Argot so far. 3rd down and 12 for the Eagles at the Artesia 42, right hash. Clock's ticking now with 1:50 left here in the first half. Eagles going to take some time off the clock as they look to the sideline. Don't want to give much time left for Artesia after hopefully the Eagles can score. Might have to kick off before the end of the half.
Yep, 3rd and 12 here. How far do they go on this? Try to make it 2 plays, you're going to go for 1.
Bunch of stunting going on by the linebackers. Back to pass is going to be Argot, letting it loose to the near sideline. Just lets it fly as Caden Trevino bumps into 2 defenders on the near side. They won't let him get through, and no chance for a connection on that one.
Yeah, that ball was way out of bounds. There wasn't anything that he could have done. that wasn't a playable ball.
And it was kind of a quick throw as he got some pressure, did Argot in the backfield. He was kind of lofted to see if Caden could get underneath it, but he met the wall there of two white jerseys on this near right sideline, incomplete.
Yeah. I mean, it was one of those things that when people are in your face, you try to get the ball where you can. That's probably the only place that he could see at that point in time. And they probably got a little bit of it as he let go, too, because that ball was wobbling.
Hawkes has caught 7 of the 10 passes for the Hobbs Eagles here in the first half, Coach. That kid has got some hands and some feet to go with it. 4th and 12 for the Eagles at the 43 of the Bulldogs. Up by 20. Clock down now to 1:30 left in the half, and Coach Stevens going to call the timeout. Didn't like what he saw from the Artesia defense. They stay with that 3-man front, but big discussion. What's he going to talk to the black and gold about?
I think that was – they wanted to see if they jumped there. You know, you're trying to burn the clock down quite a bit so Artesia doesn't have a chance to go up the field. You're letting that clock tick down. You go for a hard 2. It doesn't happen. Yeah, you call the timeout and set up what you really want to do.
Now, do you think this is going to break the camel's back if the Eagles are getting to the end zone again for Coach Moppin and the Bulldogs?
Without a doubt. I mean, really, I think they're already feeling that way. I think the last touchdown was the one that really kind of did that. But you have so much football left. And as long as we don't turn it over, we're in good shape. That's the key here. We don't give them extra possessions. Our offense has been solid enough. I think that's been the turnaround of the game is the turnovers. And if we don't turn the ball over, we're in good shape to run the clock out for the second half. 3
touchdowns for Hawkes, 2 for Trevino, and 1 for Baeza so far. That's 6 TDs for the Hobbs Eagles as they break their huddle, and they'll have a 4th and 12 here from the Artesia 42-yard line, leading 41-21. Clock at 1:30 left here in the second. Still a more big part of the game coming up here. They have 2 bands performing at halftime. That's going to add to our timeline, Coach. Trips left, receiver right. Shotgun, Argot's going to take it himself, tucks it right to the 40, puts his head down, runs over 2 more defenders like a bowling ball that time across the 35 and to the 34, but I didn't see really that much space to get the first down there, so I don't know what the deal was on that play, but what's he going to get? About maybe 8 yards and short by about 2.5.
Yeah, I mean, it was a safe play call. Just ran a little quarterback lead there. I didn't think they were really trying to get the first down, but all of a sudden he was just running clean. He saw that safety and decided he was just going to bulldoze him and try to drag him to the first down. Got close, but didn't get there.
Argot's got 68 yards on the ground so far in the first half. Artesia football turning over on downs did the Eagles for the first time tonight. As Estrada brings him up to the 33-yard line. Trips left, receivers 2 to the right side. By himself in the backfield is Estrada, takes the shotgun back to the 25, dances around, slides left. Now he's going to tuck and gets tripped up underneath. His feet getting swiped out from underneath him that time by the linebacker for the Hobbs Eagles. And coming up big was Cameron Hernandez, the outside linebacker. And there's going to be, I guess, say he got back to line of scrimmage or not. Where's the mark?
He lost about a yard on that.
Barely,
maybe.
yeah.
And a good job by Andre Alvarado chasing him out of the pocket from the backside, making him go that direction. So ended up Hernandez was there to wrap him up.
I don't think that was actually. I think that was the first run of the ball game for. We'll keep it right here, the timeout call. But that's the first run of the game for the quarterback Estrada as he loses 1 on the play. But they're more of a passing team anyway. I mean,
they are, and when they want to run, they sub Estrada out. That other quarterback against Carlsbad actually played half the downs and was in quite a bit. You know, number 12, that is Peyton Deans, is their running quarterback, and they kind of play them 50-50 usually, but now you're trailing, you're trying to get the clock on your side, you have to throw the ball more, you're going to bring in your throwing quarterback.
Of course, 59 seconds, I'm sure Bulldogs have to use the sidelines as much as possible to get out of bounds and stop the clock.
I'm waiting for a trick play from them. I mean, they've shown in the past that they'll run little,
hook and ladders
and stuff like that. I wouldn't doubt if we see something right now from them.
Second down, they're going to say they got back to line of scrimmage on that last play. They looked like they had a mark behind the line. High snap on the shotgun. Estrada. He's going to fire down the middle. Post route, caught the 50, Hobbs territory, 40, and brought to the 38-yard line. That will be a first down. And it'll be 20, make it 30 yards on the catch.
And that was something where they had the guy in coverage couldn't quite keep up with the speed. He ended up in the seams between the safeties.
First down for Artesia. That's their 4th of the game. They throw it to the right flat. Caught at the 32. Cutting back to the far side. 25. Continues to spin around to the 22-yard line. And it'll be another first down. 17-yard pickup on that pass.
I think we need to get somebody a little closer on him.
That was Greathouse, their best receiver. His third double-digit catch of the game. That's the 5th first down. They'll have it at the 22 shotgun. Stratton going to fire the slant route, but throws it to the butt of his receiver, butt down the middle of the field, but they're going to say he got bumped first as he was going through his pass route down the middle.
I had a feeling that was within the first 5 yards, though. I don't know. That's going to be a hard one to call. But
well, high school, they don't let that rule go. That rule doesn't count the first 5 yards. You got that about a 1 yard bump at the line, and you have to let him go. Hey, guys, did they call that a PI on that one? Was the ball in the air?
Yeah, I guess so.
Was it starts at the, was it the 22? That would be half the distance.
11.
That'd be 11-yard line. So 11-yard penalty going to be against the Eagles. That's only their 5th of the ball game, though. Artesia already with double-digit penalties. They will mark it at the 11. First down for Artesia. That's their 6th of the ball game.
Crowd's starting to get into this, trying to get a defensive stop for the Eagles.
First, and they could get a first on the 1 yard line. Back to pass. And they're going to let it loft to the left corner of the end zone. A diving catch and a roll by the receiver. Estrada connects, and they're going to say that, is it a catch? Yes, it is.
Yeah, and Chisholm was in coverage. He tried to slap at it, couldn't quite get his hand on it. And that ended up being a touchdown for Artesia.
So the score good for the Artesia receiver who kind of somersaulted in the end zone. That was Riley Jarrett, the tight end, for 11 yards out. As we wait the PAT, swinging gate, of course, Artesia known for.
I've never seen them run anything out of it. They always just line up and kick afterwards.
But we're going to see right now, Greathouse, the receiver, is also the kicker for the Bulldogs. High snap, kick is up, almost blocked by the Eagles inside the left upright. It's up and good. So we're going to go down to the wire here in the first half, it appears. 41 for the Hobbs Eagles and 28 for the Artesia Bulldogs. 29 seconds left here in the first half. We're still going live on Cool 95.7, HobbsAmerica.com, and on YouTube, the Hobbs Sports page.
You're clear. How long did you need?
30.
Okay, y'all guys' video is up. There is a line behind y'all. Can y'all guys check y'all's plugins to make sure everything's still plugged in all right? Five, 3, 2, 1, go.
Welcome back to Watson Stadium. 41-28, the Eagles lead. 29 seconds left here in the second quarter. Here's the voice of the Eagles, Ty Friend.
So Artesia definitely needed some insurance points to get themselves back in this ball game. It's still a 13-point ball game. Hobbs by the double digits, 41-28 with 29 seconds remaining. And the Eagles just got to be conservative with the football, got to get on top of it. Wouldn't be surprised to see something on the ground here on the onside kick for Greathouse and the Bulldogs. And here comes the kickoff. They're going to keep it on the ground. It's a little bit higher than the ground, though, and it's scooped up. Nice coverage. The good hands team up front there to pull that thing down about the 48-yard line of the Eagles, and they'll have a couple of plays left in this ball game. As coming off to the sideline after the nice catch near the ground is Bryson Avia for Hobbs.
And that was a good job there by the backup cornerback. He's out there on the hands team, and nice little snag, gets down low, saves himself from getting hit. Now we've got good field position.
Eagles going to go for it here, just kneel down and let the clock run in this first half.
Why not go for it? You got 28 seconds. Why not go for a bomb?
47-yard line of the Eagles. Trips right, receiver left, shotgun. Argot fakes the handoff, stays right behind the line of scrimmage, fires out the middle. It's intercepted at the 35, 40, 45, 50, 45 of the Eagles, and that is going to run the clock to 18 to give Artesia field position at the Hobbs 46-yard line. And, Coach, there's the backbreaker there. You do not want to go into the half with a momentum shifter to the orange and white.
And we got an injury on the field. Van Landingham's up again. He's holding that same spot on his leg.
Second INT for the Eagles in this ball game. That's a total of 4 turnovers now, 2 INTs and 2 fumbles.
Well, you talked about it. The only way Artesia is going to get back in the game is we turn the ball over.
First and 10 from the Eagle 46, shotgun to Estrada. He's going to fire the post route, caught at the 28 of the Eagles, spinning around at the 25, and that'll be a first down, 22 yards on the pickup. That will move the chains for Artesia. And a hurry-up offense now after Greathouse comes up with that catch.
10 seconds and the clock's moving here.
Back to pass from the 26, loft at left corner of the end zone, touchdown! quick scoring for Artesia as the Eagles are going to come back and haunt themselves thinking about that last series where they threw the pass down the middle for the INT.
You know, just like that, it goes from a game where you got a 2-touchdown, 3-touchdown lead to a 2-touchdown lead to a 1-touchdown lead in a matter of a couple of minutes. Amazing amount of points on the board. Somebody's defense is going to have to step up in the second half.
That's a second score for number 44, which is not on our roster. We'll have to find out who that was, as he had an 11-yard touchdown just seconds ago. As we wait the PAT, kick is up, and it is for Greathouse. Good, just barely inside the left upright. Clock with 4 seconds remaining, and now we've got ourselves a single-digit game, Coach. We've got a total of 76 points on the scoreboard. Hobbs 41, Artesia 35. We're back in 30 seconds.
You're clear. $15. 5, 3, 2, 1, go.
41-35, Hobbs up by 6 with 4 seconds left in the second quarter. Minutes ago, Coach, the Eagles up by 20, and this game is down to a single-digit ball game.
Well, you know, that's the wave of games like this. When you have all these points on the board, it comes in waves for one side, it comes in waves for another. Somebody's defense is going to have to settle in the second half.
Kickoff again for the orange and white on the road here at Watson Stadium. Eagles, their second home game in a row to start the season. The kick is going to be a bouncer. Scooped up at the 36, fumbled a minute, and picked back up for the Eagles by Armendariz. He gets chased down and lost the football momentarily. That's going to run out the clock, though, as the coverage is going to finish the first half. So the Eagles kind of end on a sour note with a couple of touchdowns given up, changing a 20-point game down to a 5, and the Artesia fans have been lit up on that other side of the football field. At the half, 41-35, Hobbs by 6, and we're going to have a long halftime here, Coach. 2 bands, the Artesia Bulldogs and the Hobbs Eagle Marching Band, will be on the field. So we started late at 7:30. I think we're going to be done by around midnight tonight. Stay with us live on Cool 95.7, HobbsAmerica.com, and on YouTube on the Hobbs Sports page.
You're clear. How long do you need, Ty? One minute.
Add an extra minute, please.
Okay.
starters. It's really an honor, and
1 minute. $30. 15. 5. 3, 2, 1, go.
We're here at halftime at Watson Stadium. A major scoring test going on here. 76 points on the scoreboard as Hobbs leads Artesia 41-35. Coach, Eagles were down 13-0 early. Started to trade some scoring. Actually, Artesia getting up 21-7 at one point, but everybody going back and forth now with turnovers galore for both teams. 4 for Artesia and a total of 4 for the Hobbs Eagles. Both teams with 2 interceptions, 2 fumbles, and again, I think you made a point there towards the end of the second quarter is like one defense trying to get themselves settled in and to try to stop a play here. They get the turnovers, but then sooner or later somebody else is going to give it back to the other team.
I wonder if both teams went to a bacon buffet at Ranchers or something. They got grease all over their hands. Nobody can seem to hold on to the football. And it's going to be an interesting second half. I mean, they're going to either keep doing this and we end up with one of the highest scoring games in New Mexico history, you know, or teams will settle down and finally do what they're supposed to do and play some defense, and the second half will go quicker. It's interesting. You don't know what's going to happen here, and it'll be fun to see.
Yeah, we had early deficit for Hobbs, 13-0. 18-yard pass to start the game. Greathouse, the receiver, caught that one, 7-zip. A 2-yard run for Rodriguez made it 13-0, missed PAT. Hobbs gets back in it. Hawkes, one of his major touchdowns in this ball game, of course. So far, he's got a total of 3 pass touchdowns. He scored on that one in the first quarter, making it 13-7. Artesia returns with a 51-yard pass to Joy, coming off the arm of Estrada, and it was 21-7 at that point with the 2-point conversion. Hawkes gets another score, an 11-yard pass reception at the end of the first, made it 21-13. The Hobbs Eagles pulled within 1 in the second quarter after they get a 29-yard run to make it 21-20 at that point after the touchdown score for Hobbs, and that was the score by Trevino, a 29-yarder to get them back within a 1-point ball game. Hobbs opens up with a 75-yard pass after that with a connect with Hawkes once again to take the 6-point lead, 27-21 at that point. Baeza offers up his scoring in the second quarter with a 5-yard run, making it 34-21. So the Eagles expanding to a double-digit 13 lead. And then another touchdown from Trevino, a 13-yard pass in the second, was 41-21 with about 5 minutes and 50 seconds left in the second. But then 2 touchdown passes after some turnovers for the Eagles. Donahue, an 11-yarder, 41-28 to score, and then Donahue, a 22-yarder, 41-35. So a 6-point ball game now. And this thing has turned quite a bit different for Artesia off a mistake by the Eagles. They had the ball near midfield, decided to throw it down the middle of the field right to a defender there in the secondary, and then they moved into the Hobbs Eagle side of the 50-yard line.
Well, you know, I tell you this. These are the kind of games that make coaches go bald, and I can attest to that. You know, you want to settle down, and that's what you're going to do at halftime. You're going to go in, and you're going to try to just calm those guys down. Everybody's wound up. You're riding high, you're riding low, you're on a roller coaster the entire first half. At some point, you just need to say, all right, guys, let's just do our jobs, settle in, and relax. You know, you have 76 points. That's just amazing on the board at this point. But it'll be interesting.
Both bands will be marching here at halftime. Artesia, if you're watching us on YouTube, they're out there right now, the black and gold, or black and orange, I should say, and then the black and gold waiting for them on the other side of the field, lined up across, as this will be a long halftime show. And again, I think you better get ready to set that alarm clock, because I'm not sure what time this game is going to get over. So make sure you stay with us here live on Cool 95.7, HobbsAmerica.com, and YouTube with the Hobbs Sports page. Halftime score, it's Hobbs 41, Artesia 35. We'll come back in 3 minutes with your halftime stats on your No Mark broadcasting stations.
You're clear. Two minutes. One minute.
Is that pitch on just the stream, or is it on the radio too?
It's just on the stream. And it didn't start doing that high pitch until we got reconnected, so.
Yeah, I just went ahead and reconnected everything to the stream again, so we'll see. And the box cast is hotter than I've ever felt it before.
So maybe it's overheating.
It sure feels like it.
Another 2 minutes, please.
Okay.
We're making a minute 30.
One minute. 30. Ten. 3, 2, 1, go.
Hobbs Eagle marching band on the field right now under Mr. Cheney, of course, the first-year head band director for the Hobbs Eagle marching band. We had the Artesia band on just a few minutes ago, so a little longer of a halftime show. This should be a long night of football here at Watson Stadium. Ty friend, Coach Brian Coltrane with you. Hobbs up by just a few points here at the half, 41-35. As many as a 20-point lead in the second quarter. Unfortunately, 2 quick touchdowns late in the second gets the Bulldogs back in the game. Let's take a look at the numbers, first of all, for Artesia. And, Coach, not a lot of running going on for this Bulldogs team. That's usually their forte, throwing the ball more. They've only had 5 carries for 13 yards in the first half. Only 2 guys in positives. That includes Jesse LaRock for a total of 12 yards, and then Rodriguez at a carry for 2. So 5 carries for 13 yards in the rushing game, but we'll get to the passing here in a second.
Yeah, not much to say about the rushing game. There wasn't one. Only 5 attempts and all that offense in the first half. You know where they're getting their yards, and that's what we're going to have to stop in the second half. Yeah,
of course, the Eagles pretty effective against the run last week defensively, too, with Clovis. So, and they had a couple slot backs, a couple blockers coming up to help out there. So, again, Eagles defense doing pretty good of shutting down the running games. But on the other side of the coin, already 227 yards in the air for Artesia in the passing game, and a bunch of guys getting involved. Cody Johnson had the last 2 touchdowns, 2 catches for 33 yards. They made a number switch on him. They radio people from Artesia said he usually wears one number. They switched before the game started, so the roster was incorrect. But he has scored twice and has 2 catches for 33, as I mentioned. The long receivers has been a ton of them. Nick Sanchez had a catch for 20. He's had 3 double digits, 10, 17, and 18, so he's definitely a threat out there. Also, Joy had a long one, a 51-yarder for a touchdown. And then last but not least for the Bulldogs, number 40, Caden Zuniga, had a catch for 11 yards in the first half. So lots of guys getting a chance to make catches. 9 receivers have pulled balls down, or running backs or receivers, in the first half. Again, 15 total receptions so far for a total of 227. Total yardage in the first half, 240 for Artesia.
Wow, that's a lot of passing yards. That ends up turning into 500 yards passing in the end of the game just about. We're going to have to shore that up in the second half.
Penalties have been a problem, though, Coach. You mentioned last week 15, over 100-some yards of penalties there, but 11 tonight already for 100 yards. A couple of those 15-yarders, 3 of them actually, and a couple were PIs that we saw out there, and some offside, especially defensive encroachment penalties have been some problems too. So that's an issue for Artesia. On top of the 4 turnovers, 2 INTs and 2 fumbles. Both INTs, Armandaris picks them off of the Eagles.
Well, to steal a phrase from Jim Rome, if you ain't cheating, you ain't trying. So they're doing a lot of trying tonight. I tell you what, the interceptions were very timely and very needed. Armandaris has been really a ball hawk out there. Jackson's done a good job getting his hand on a couple of balls, Caceres as well. The defensive backs, it's kind of a mixed bag. You get the interceptions, yeah, that's a big plus. But you're giving up 240 yards, that's a big minus. So we got to kind of weigh the consequences here and figure out what we want, which poison we're going to take.
Artesia also had 2 punts in the first half and a total of 6 first downs. Now for your Hobbs Eagles, the running game, they've had a lot more success there than what Artesia's had. In fact, a couple of guys starting to push the numbers up, getting close to that 100 mark. Argot, the quarterback, 10 carries for 68 yards. He's had 3, or make it 4, double digits, 15, a couple of 12s, a 10. And he's definitely a guy that is giving a second threat out there offensively for the Eagles and doing a good job of reading the gaps that you can get upfield.
And he did. I mean, really looking up the field, keeping his feet moving a little bit in the pocket, making sure he buys himself time, and then slinging that ball out there. Only bad throw that I really seen him throw all night was that interception right there in the last play that ended up kind of flipping that scoreboard right there at the end.
Also on the ground, Baeza had 8 carries for 49, including a 16 and a 12-yarder. Had a 5-yard touchdown run as well. And let's talk about Trevino, too. 2 rushes for 41 yards, both scoring 29 and 12. And we talk about him being a receiver too, but he's a good guy to the backfield on the slot. He'll come in motion sometimes too around the ends. But once he gets past that line of scrimmage, you better have some rope to try to throw across his head.
Oh, he's so elusive. He's very hard to bring down. You certainly can't arm tackle. You're going to have to really get some helmet on him. And he's a very dangerous player.
Armendariz, 3 carries for 12 yards. Salcido had 1 for 1. So a total of 5 running backs getting a chance to touch the ball in the first half. 24 carries for 171 yards. Those are some nice numbers.
Absolutely. And, you got to keep up with the Joneses, so to speak, because the Artesia had all the yardage as well. You're going to have to get your own, and we did.
Coach, how about Hawkes there, one of the receivers for the Eagles in the passing game? 7 catches, 178. He's got 7 of the 10 receptions for the Eagles and 178 of the 190 passing yardage in the first half.
He's been an absolute X factor. I mean, what he's contributed to this game has been just wonderful. It's been such a positive thing because it gives you another threat. Now they're really having to triple think, quadruple think what they're going to do to stop us. And obviously with 41 points on the board, nothing has worked so far.
Evan Ortega, 2 catches for 15 yards. Come back-to-back there in the second quarter for him. So far in the first half, Hobbs 10 of 13 for 190, a total of 361 yards in the first half, 190 pass, 171 in the run. So good balance there pretty much for the Eagles. The big difference besides they've had turnovers. They had 4, 2 INTs and 2 fumbles like Artesia had, but the big difference has been the least amount of penalties in this game. They've had a total of 5, which is, 46 yards in the first half. Definitely different than 100 and some that Artesia's had.
Yeah, and we weren't playing as sloppy, that's for sure. And I think that, so far that's probably been the difference in this game because the turnovers have been the same. At this point, that yardage is probably the difference in those 6 points. Both teams are going to try to really clean things up in the second half.
And the Eagles have also doubled up on the first downs, 12-6 versus Artesia in the first half. Both teams are back out on the field here as we're getting close to the start of the second half. A prolonged halftime because of both marching bands out there. 2:40 left before we get underway. The black and gold and the orange and white getting back on the field as we get ready for more Hobbs Eagle football on Cool 95.7, HobbsAmerica.com, and YouTube on the Hobbs Sports page. Eagles up 41-35. We're back in 2.5.
You're clear. Two minutes. One minute. 10, 5, 3, 2, 1, go.
Second half action getting ready here at Watson Stadium. Ty Friend, Coach Brian Coltrane with you. Tiffany Stuber back at the station. And, Coach, we knew this was going to be a long one just by the way it started a half hour late, and big band performances by both squads at halftime. And now we got the second half. Eagles going to have to kick off. And I don't know, this is the time you want to kick off after two quick touchdowns for Artesia in the first half.
I certainly don't want to give them good field position. I want to make them go length of the field. Question is, do we go onside kick or try to kick deep?
Armendariz, well, not Armendariz, but Van Landingham kicks it on the ground, takes a bounce at the 35, picked up by the Bulldogs, brought to the 40, and barely getting those ankles to swap him down to the ground. The return man there was Cody Johnson, and the Eagles kind of get the hip swipe to put him down to the turf, but looked like he was going to start taking off down the field. Good job for Cassius Martinez to kind of lunge out there and take a swat at him.
Yeah, he got a bit of speed, and he's starting to pick up even more coming down that edge over there. Good field position here for Artesia.
I bet Coach Maupin felt a lot better after the team down 41-21 with 5:50 left in the second, and turn around with those two touchdowns, making a 5-point ball game.
Yep. I tell you what, turnovers will do that.
1st and 10 for the Artesia Bulldogs at their own 42 on the left hash. In front of the Hobbs Eagle bench, going right to left on the radio dial. They'll bring two receivers to the right, three to the left side on the trips. By himself is Estrada. Back to pass on a two-step drop. He wants to fire the post route, throws it short to the 40 in Hobbs territory. Three defenders on the intended receiver that time, but it dropped right near his ankles. That was Greathouse out in coverage in the post.
Cameron Hernandez putting on the pressure on the quarterback, getting his helmet into him as the ball was being released.
2nd down and 10 now from the 42. Artesia not going to a huddle. They're lining up.
Artesia wants to keep pace. I mean, not that we haven't had pace in this game already.
Trips right, receiver left. Delay handoff up the gut to the 40, 45 to the 46-yard line. That's going to be a 4-yard pickup for the Bulldogs. Jesse LaRoque, haven't heard his name for a while since the first half. Now he's got 4 for 16 yards.
And Hernandez again on the tackle. This time he's teaming up with Big Oliver Hill, the Big O. He's in there for the other half of that tackle.
Big O playing some good D there, right?
Absolutely.
3rd down and 6 now. The fake reverse, back to pass, a dump in the right flat, over the head, and boy, somebody getting his helmet walloped off there. Talk about a bullet shot to stop the screen pass on the right side. Taking his head off, C.J. Romero. Boy, he's a strong safety. How did he get in the backfield that quickly?
Well, he'd come up there doing a little bit more press, and he's actually listed as strong safety, but he's been playing mostly corner in the game, and then ended up in the hands of Andre Alvarado. Big defensive lineman there, almost came down with it, and there would have been nothing between him and the end zone.
Yeah, the pass coming from Estrada, the bubble screen on the right side, right near the line of scrimmage, actually, and that's a perfect opportunity for a head tanker there. 4th and 6 now from the 46-yard line of the Bulldogs. Going to go up with the punt. It'll be a 3rd one of the game. Kick is away, and it's going to be caught by the Eagles at the 16. The ball's dropped, and diving on it, the Eagles will recover. Boo, that was dodging a bullet there. I thought he had put up a fair catch symbol, but looks like he didn't get he got a bobble before coming down with it. That's Owen Calloway, I believe, was the return man that time. Let me double check the number.
It was Armendariz on that one as well. Armendariz, he didn't signal fair catch. He started to put his hands up to catch the ball, and he ended up bobbling because pressure got there, and ended up, I think the corner on this side was the guy that did the recovery, but man, that was close.
Isaac Flanagan, yeah, is the senior guy that got the recover up on that one. Going to be a 1st down and 10 for the Eagles after the punt at the 11-yard line. All looking at their armbands. They send two receivers both sides. Back in the shotgun is Argot. Got Baez on his left shoulder in the backfield. Takes a high snap. He wants to run around the left end. Takes a block ahead. We got a flag. 15, 20. Still going. Trying to backpedal for a few more, but it looks like going to be a block foul on the Hobbs Eagles.
Interesting defensive formation. They went to 4 down linemen and 1 linebacker. Still only had 5 in the box on that one.
Looks like they'll probably get a hold or a legal block out there about halfway through the run across the line of scrimmage. Trying to double check who that was on the lead block. He had one of the big linemen kind of dragging off to the left that time.
Yeah, and you know, that lineman, he almost pushed him into the block. I believe 59 was the number on the lineman.
Make that 55.
55, there you go. And That would have been Canyon Johnson.
That's going to be half the distance. Be a 5-yard foul for the Eagles, violation there. First down and 15 back at the 5.5-yard line. Back at the goal line for the shotgun will be Argot as Baez with him. Definitely going to have to block on this one. Got a hand off instead and goes around the right end of the 10, spins, 11, 15, down to the 16-yard line. He'll get, looks like they're going to get it, the 13 make it. So a 7-yard pickup for Baeza. Again, bouncing off defenders that time. There's 9 carries for 56 yards.
Baeza does the quickest spin move I've ever seen. When he gets those feet turning, he turns into a tornado, just kind of ripping through a trailer park.
Second down and 6 now from the 16-yard line. Eagle football on the right hash. They lead by 5, 41-35 with 10:20 left in the third. Shotgun to Argot, delay handoff. Come around the left end, Baeza, 20, 25, cuts up middle, 30, 35, still zigzagging, 40, and spins down to the ground with another tornado run to the 43.
And again, Baeza just lifting the load as he goes through there. And there's nobody that can arm tackle him. He's so quick with his feet. They try to get a paw on him, and he just bolts right by him.
Baeza with 30 on that one, as he's got 86 yards on 10 carries. 8.6 a pop. First down for the 42 of the Eagles. 13 first downs. 4 in the box now for Artesia. Shotgun, Argot going to hand off angle right. Here goes Baeza taking a wall on his back across the 45. 5-yard pickup, maybe 4, depending on where his knee went down that time.
It's nice to see us able to grind it out like this and just get big yards, just handing the ball off. Very safe way to move the ball off the field.
I shorted him that time. That was 6 on the carry. 92 yards for him. 2nd and 4 now from the Eagle 47 on the right hash. Eagles come out of their play. Look over to Coach Stevens. Takes a few claps, puts his fist up in the air. Don't know if that changed the call or not. Trying to get in the heads of the defense. Twins left and right. Shotgun Argot. Hand off to Baez around the left end. 50, 45. Continues to 40. Breaks a tackle. Spins down to the 36-yard line. Another first down pickup.
And you know why this is happening is very simple. Artesia is only putting 5 guys in the box. And when there's only 5 guys in the box, you line up those 5 linemen, and you've got 1 free, and that's the running back you're giving the ball to.
15-yarder for Baeza. Another Eagle first down. That's their 14th of the ball game at the Artesia 36. And you got to think the Bulldog defense is going to start getting tired here, but they only trail by 5.
Still doing the same thing, 5 in the box.
1st and 10 from the 36, left hash. This time Argot wants it, spins, breaks a tackle, cuts left to the 30, and puts his head down, rolling over another. As he's getting closer and closer to that first down marker, going to be shy by about 2 yards, but he's not going to go down easy.
No, that looked like an old pinball machine. That ball was just kind of ricocheting off the bumpers in there, and nobody could get the ball in the gutter. It just kind of kept going almost to a first down.
That's going to be his 11th carry for 75 yards for the quarterback Argot. 2nd down and 3 now from the Artesia 29-yard line.
Maybe it's time to throw here.
Eagles with 8:25 left, third quarter up by 5. Give it to Baeza around the left end to the 25. Heads outside of the sideline. 20, left side, 15. Still going. And they have to take 3 guys and knock him out of bounds for the first down.
He got all the way down to the 10 or the 11 right there. That was an amazing run. I tell you, I'm going to stand corrected. I was thinking it'd be great to switch it up and pass right there. But why stop what you're doing when it works?
That's the 15th first down. And by the way, Coach, of his 5 runs in this second half, 3 of those have been for double digits, 30, 16, and 15.
And Baeza's over there putting his hands on his knees. After all those carries, he's probably getting a little winded, but I tell you what, that kid ain't coming out.
First down and 10 from the 12. Eagles can get a first on about the 1.5-yard line. On the left hash, high shotgun snap. Going to go around the right end, direct the middle, breaking a tackle right up the gut for the score. And that, I believe, is Argot. I think he put the ball in the gut of his running back and decided to go up the middle himself, quarterback keeper, and rambles in for the touchdown. That will be for 12 yards for the score.
And that's just one of those mesh veer plays. You're riding that stomach of the back, and you're looking at that backside tackle or end, and if they crash down, you pull it and keep it yourself because you know that opening is there.
12-yard touchdown run for Argot up the middle, getting those gaps and continue moving forward. Snap is good, and the kick is up, and it's going to be inside the right upright. Count it for Van Landingham. 8:10 left here in the third. Hobbs extends their lead to 13, 48-35 of Artesia. The scoring ain't done yet here at Watson Stadium, back in 60.
You're clear. $30. $15. $5. 3, 2, 1, go.
Eagles up by 13 here at Watson Stadium, 48-35 after a 12-yard run for Argot, the quarterback. Keep it on the ground. It's going to get scooped up by Artesia at the 46. Diving save there for the Bulldogs. As that will be brought down for the white and orange by Xavier Jagger, and will give Artesia some good field position at their own 46 as they trail by 13.
Got some scores from around the region. Eunice beat Estancia 41-12. Jowl 57-7. That's a final in the third. And Seminole beats Lovington, the 3A school out of Texas, 46-6.
Go with the handoff up the middle for the Bulldogs from the 46-yard line. Simple dive look there. Couple-yard pickup for the orange squad. Valenzuela, their tailback, gets 3 yards on that one.
I want to thank Tiffany for those scores back at the station. Thank you.
Valenzuela now 3 carries for 13 yards. Second down and 7 from the Artesia 48 on the right hash. Shotgun to Estrada. He'll go back to pass. So the out route low. Nice fingertip catch at the line or at the first down marker, and probably a little bit more than that. Be an 8-yard pickup for the first.
And that's going to move the chains, and Artesia's going to keep it going.
Good snag by Caden Joy. He had that touchdown earlier in this game, that 51-yarder. So completion for the Bulldogs, their 7th first down, moving to Hobbs Eagle territory at the 43.5-yard line. But the Eagles up by 13 with 7:25 and ticking in the third. Twins left and right, fake the handoff, back to pass. Strada's going to fire the post route, connects at the 15-yard line for another first down.
And that one was absolutely a lightning strike between two players. Jackson tried to go over the top and get the interception. Receiver somehow came down with it.
Yeah, that's Greathouse, 28 yards. He's their top receiver for so far this season. 5 catches for 70 yards, the 8th first down on the completion. Back to pass again, this time to the left corner. Spiral, and the defender gets a bear hug on the receiver trying to head to the left corner. And unfortunately, the receiver came right to his numbers, kind of put his head down, and the cornerback for the Eagles is trying to get the heck out of the way and try to keep his balance. I think he might have reached down and hugged him a little bit.
That was Nathan Ciceros. And Ciceros, you know, I think he thought that ball was going to come underneath. He stopped thinking he was going to jump for it, and the guy just ran right into him, square into the chest.
Listen to the Hobbs Eagle fans moaning about that call, as the intended receiver was Jathan Duran, and they don't like the call. They thought the defender, like you said, came into him and caused some extracurricular. That will be half the distance, though, not 15. Let's see, the ball was originally at the 17, so 8.5-yard line or so on the PI interference penalty.
The only thing about that, even if he stops right there and the guy runs into you, he has a path that he's trying to get to the ball.
But you have your right to your spot as well. 1st and 1 as they go with the slant route, caught on the goal line and a somersault across. Is it going to be down first? We'll see. That's going to be at least 8 yards.
They called it down inside the 1.
I think Artesia fans booing now on the other side of the field. They thought that he thought he broke the plane first, but I double check to see that number out there. I believe that was Julian Rodriguez with the score for the. They say touchdown. No.
And on the run there, they try to go off tackle, and it looks like Hernandez gets in there with Singleton. They make a stop. They lost yardage on that one.
That was Valenzuela, -1 on that play. He's having some issues in this game, at least on that last play. He's only got 3 for 13 so far in this contest. That'll be a second down and goal now from the 1.
I think they're all the way back to almost a 2.5.
Second down and goal from about the 2.5 now as they made a man in motion left to right. Shotgun. Going to be a direct snap and trying to angle right, powering in and just going toe-to-toe straight up into the end zone. And coming off the bench, I believe that time, was Peyton Deans. That's the backup quarterback. You mentioned he's the running quarterback for Artesia, and he gets the 2-yard touchdown run just straight up on the defender. Nobody coming low on him that time, and he just kind of used his chest to push it himself in.
Yeah, Chisholm got there and hit him at the line of scrimmage, but nobody else jumped in there to help him take it down. Artesia's doing something now. They're talking to the side. They may have to call a timeout here.
Yeah, they're doing that swinging gate. Clock at 6:08 left, third quarter. It's a 7-point ball game. Of course, they did miss a PAT earlier. They got a late sub coming in now.
Yeah,
He's getting his butt chewed, too.
Yeah, but you know what? The play clock never started.
Back on the line, he goes to the left side. He's actually lining up at the slot position. We'll keep his name and number off the air here, unless you see it on YouTube. Here's Greathouse. Gets a kick blocked on the left side of the line. A couple of players thought they could return that, but nope, not in high school football. Once it's blocked, we're done. And though the Eagles have stopped 2 PATs in this ball game, but still it's a close one. 6:08 remaining in the third. Hobbs 48, Artesia 41. You're listening live to Hobbs Eagle Football on Cool 95.7, HobbsAmerica.com, and on YouTube on the Hobbs Sports page.
You're clear.
$15, 10, 5, 3, go.
Back live here at Watson Stadium. The Eagles on the kick return, bring it across the 30-yard line, end up at the 32, make it the 33. They lead by 7 here after an Artesia 2-yard touchdown run for Deans. Get it to a single-digit lead still with Hobbs leading this one at Watson Stadium.
I tell you what, with a 7-point ball game again, this is a time where you really want to come down the field and score.
First and 10 from the 33.5-yard line for the Eagles. They got a pair of receivers right, 2 on the left side. As they look to the sideline for the play call. 3 on the front for the Artesia defense as a shotgun coming to Argot. Takes his time on the cadence call here. Good snap, turns and fires a comeback route on the 30. It's caught for the Eagles and come back to the line of scrimmage, try to cut back up. We got flags flying on the line. Jeremiah Hawkes was the guy that made the catch. Good hands coming back towards his quarterback. But I think we got some holding going on in the backfield.
Yeah, probably the receiver on the outside probably held on just a little too long.
That wouldn't have been much of a gain, if anything, if he got back to the line. Maybe Artesia going to decline this and burn it down here, but wait and see what we got going on.
You take the yardage in a game like this.
Blocking the back Eagles. That'll be a 10-yard penalty from the line because that's about where it happened. So that'll back up the Eagles 10. And that will be their 7th penalty of the ball game. And that'll be for about 45 yards. So first down and 20 now for the Eagles at their own 23. They lead by 7 with 5:50 remaining in the third. Twins left and right. Argot comes underneath the center momentarily and backpedals it out for the shotgun. He's got Baez on his left shoulder behind him. Actually, I think he made a sub in there, bringing in Armendariz. Gives Armendariz the ball on the right side, cuts around the right end, and brought down at the 29-yard line. And he got knocked down to the ground late. And he threw the ball high in the air to the official, and then the Artesia sideline was screaming and yelling that they should have a penalty on that one. Maybe they're going to call that unsportsmanlike.
There's a flag on the far side of the field there.
I don't think the guy over there would have called it, though. It's just happened on the other sideline. But that was a 7-yard pickup for Armendariz. Wait to see a dead ball. It looks like it's going to be personal foul. Unnecessary roughness. They're going to call that against the Eagles, and that'll be charged to Ethan Van Landingham. I didn't see what happened on that one, but that would have been an 8-yard pickup. It was an 8-yard pickup, and they're going to drop it back with a personal foul. I just should be half the distance on that one.
Without a doubt, you know, little extracurricular activity happening over there and marches you back, and this makes it really second and forever.
So it's back at the 15, about a 12-yard penalty for the Eagles. Now a place you want to be with just a 7-point lead and start get the handkerchiefs falling. Twins left, receiver right, shotgun. Argot going to hand it off the left side, then trying to cut back up the middle as it up to the close to the 20, but then a big wall of orange coming at the Eagle carrier. And that, I believe that again was Armendariz, but he met the break wall pretty quickly.
And, you know, it was Caden Trevino was the one that actually threw the ball to the referee at the end of that. So maybe an Armendariz, but somehow Caden Trevino ended up with the pelota.
Yeah. That wasn't what the penalty was, though. They called the unnecessary roughness instead of the personal foul, which you were expecting, or unsportsmanlike at least. So Armendariz with 2 runs, 10 yards in the second half, 22 overall on 5 carries. They're down in a whole host of yards, about 24 to deal with. Shotgun Argot by himself, takes it himself on the keeper up the middle, 25-30. Breaks the tackle, 35, has 2 more to beat and runs him down to the 36-yard line.
That's the way you get a lot of yardage fast.
15, make it 16 for Argot. He continues to rack up the double-digit runs in this game as he's got a total of 6 of those, 12 and 16 here in the second half. And a total now of 103 yards on 9, or make it 13 carries. That'll be a 4th down and 8 for the Eagles at their own 35, and I think you're going to have to punt this one.
Yeah, have we seen a punt tonight from the Eagles?
I don't think so, not that I've got
maybe the
down.
first one.
Back deep to do the kicking chores for Hobbs, and looking to the sideline is C.J. Romero. He's back about the 21. Artesia got 4 in the box. They're going to bring a man in motion right to left. That's Saul Armendariz. Low snap. He's able to pick it up from the 25 and boot it hard. A low kick, spiral to 30, takes the Eagle roll. Touched by Artesia. It's loose at the 20 and rolls back to the far sideline to about the 14. I think Artesia barely gets back in time. Some major black jerseys getting through on that punt coverage.
And that was Isaac Flanagan that makes that play there, causes the fumble. And he gets up a little gimpy, but, man, he put a hit on him, caused that fumble.
So that's going to be Artesia football after the first punt of the ball game for the Eagles. Clock down to 3:47 left in the third quarter, and Eagles up 48-41. Still got a whole quarter after this one to go here at Watson Stadium. Bulldog football at their own 15-yard line. 4 receivers, the quads going left, 1 right. Shotgun. Angling left, the quarterback trying to spin. He's going to get met in the backfield, Estrada. And that's not going to be much going on. If he got back to line of scrimmage, he's lucky. But the Eagles come up with the black and gold quickly and fill up those gaps.
And they were trying to rip the ball out of there, too. Once they had him wrapped up, you can see they were pawing at it, trying to get another turnover.
Initial stop made for the Eagles up the middle that time was Cameron Hernandez. That's a 1-yard pickup for the quarterback. Pass into the left flat, and it's going to drop short at the feet of the intended receiver on the near left sideline. That was Devin Fierro, incomplete.
That brings up a 3rd and long situation. How we play defense on this one's going to dictate things. Are we going to press it and make them go over top, risking a touchdown, but try and take away that first down? Are we going to let them throw it underneath, risking that first down because they can try to make a move, get extra yardage? So let's see how we play this.
They're down to 9 from the 16 on the right hash for the Bulldogs in their side of the field. 3:14 left, third quarter, 48-41 Hobbs. Twins left and right, man in motion right to left. Fake the handoff, back to pass. Estrada going to air it out, far sideline, a fade route, and a somersault at the 50-yard line. Ball hits the turf, and some good coverage by the Eagles over there on that far side in front of the Artesia bench. And you got to give some credit to a couple of defenders out there, but they stuck to him like glue.
The one stayed in the hip was Isaiah Jackson, and they tried to turn on the afterburners. Jackson made a very late turn, and normally that's usually when you get burnt, but he had such closing speed. Jackson was able just to stay there with him and make the play.
So now Artesia is facing a 4th down and 9, pretty similar to what the Eagles just had a few seconds ago at the 16 now. And they're waiting to see what the defense is going to give them first. Hobbs will put Looks like just 3 on the line here. Now they're going to back up for that punt formation. It's going to be a kick inside the 5 once it's all said and done, and it's going to come from the 5. Nice spiral punt back to the Eagle 42. It's caught in motion up the middle of the field, across to the right to the 50, to the near sideline. 45, Armendariz cuts back into the 40. He zigzags the middle of the field, but backward to the 45. Then he's getting held up by a bunch of white and oranges. And he did a good job of slipping some coverage on the near sideline, but then went backwards and paid the price of the right hash.
He probably would have had 4 more yards in the return had he not done that. But it was a high risk, high reward situation. He popped that out, and he was thinking touchdown. And, yeah, he lost 4 more yards, but actually it was a good return in the end.
The question, are the Eagles comfortable with a 7-point lead here as we start to dwindle in this third quarter?
Nah, not when there's 70 points scored in the first half. We're never comfortable now.
1st and 10 from the 45. By the way, that was the 4th punt of the game for the Bulldogs. Eagles with the twins left and right. Argot talks to his line and then backs out for the shotgun. Has Baeza on his right shoulder, so comes in for Armendariz, who just had that run back. Turns and fires the comeback route at the 45, caught on the far sideline, heading to the Artesia side of the field, the left, and that'll be ahead for about 3. That was Evan Ortega who gets the 3 yards on the nice snag. Good finger control on the football. That'll be his 3rd catch of the ball game for 18 yards total. 2nd down and 7 now from the Artesia 42 on the left hash for the Eagles. They still lead by 7. 2:43 left after you got out of bounds. 48-41 your score. One of these teams will be undefeated after this ball game. Hobbs next week, of course, in Roswell to take on the Coyotes, who thrashed Lovington in week 1 of the season. Shotgun coming to Argot. Another comeback. Oh, through the hands of the receiver, and he heard footsteps coming. That cornerback is getting ready to put that helmet right in the numbers there. And he came across the line about 2 yards across, but the ball slipped through the fingertips as that pass was intended on that far left hash mark there near the Artesia bench to C.J. Romero.
And he brought his eyes up right at the end of that as the ball was starting to hit his hands because he was trying to see where the defenders were.
I believe that actually was Ethan Van Landingham on that far sideline, incomplete. Eagles now facing a 3rd down and 8 on the 42 of the Bulldogs. Left hash, twins left and right. Shotgun Argot, 2-step drop, steps pocket, fires down the middle, post route, high jump in the air, right in the gut. Catch made by Trevino at the 22-yard line.
And the chains move again. The drive continues. Nice little pitch and catch right there. He put it where the only person could get it was Trevino.
I think that's his first catch of the ball game. 20 yards on that one. We'll move the chain. 16th first down for the Eagles.
Maybe a second. He had the one where he jumped up over the guy, too, at one point. I don't know. You have the stat sheet, sir.
1st and 10 for Hobbs at the 22-yard line of the Bulldogs, middle of the field. Shotgun high for Argot. Tucks it, goes around the left end, gets a block, heads outside 20, 15, sideline 10, 5, gets towards the pylon. I think they got him out of bounds. Might have stepped out about the 3. Will be a first down regardless.
I see one line judge at the 3 and the other one at the 5. Now they're moving it back.
That's going to be about 13. They're moving it to the 8. So let's go at 12 on that one for Argot.
I have a feeling they made a mistake there because the judge on that side was all the way down to the 3. He looked across and saw the guy on this side at the 5. He started to move, and the guy at the 5 moved all the way back to the 8, and they realigned it. I think they just moved it by accident.
And plus they got the goalie box lines to deal with down there, too. Sometimes that gets in your eyesight. That is the 17th first down, though, for the Eagles, so we know it's a first regardless. 8-yard line, left hash, Hobbs by 7, clocked at 2:09. Late sub checks in for Hobbs. Going to come up to the line of scrimmage, Caden Trevino.
No, that.
Oh, I'm sorry.
It's Argot coming back on the
Argot,
field.
that's right. Takes a shotgun. Angle handoff left to right and coming across the line and trying to backpedal for some yards. And that's going to be Van Landingham, as did a good job of keeping the Pistons firing there. Gets across the 5, and it looks like they mark him at the 4, a 4-yard pickup for Ethan Van Landingham. That's his first run of the ball game. 2nd down and goal now from the 4. Eagles taking their time as they look to the sideline to Coach Stevens. Trips left, one receiver right. Argot and Baeza in the backfield. Right shoulder is Baeza. Gets the handoff. He tries to slide left to the middle, but nothing doing. Artesia quickly breaking the Hobbs line and getting to the backfield, and he's going to lose a couple on that one.
Yeah, nowhere to go on that one. A lot of white jerseys.
Looks like they're going to loss of 3 on that one for Baeza. In fact, that's his first negative of the ball game. And that'll back it up to the 8-yard line. 3rd down and goal from the 8, left hash. Actually, no, they're going to move it towards the middle now with 1:03 remaining in the 3rd. No urgency at this point. A whole quarter left after this. 48-41 Hobbs by 7. Trips left, receiver right. Argot going to take the shotgun. He gets some jumping going on. No flag for the official. Thought they broke the line that time, but there's no call. Coaching staff of the Eagles not a happy camper group right now. Down to 8 seconds on the field clock. They're going to throw it to the deep right corner of the end zone. Jumping high for it. The catch is made on the back line. Is his foot in or not? They're going to call the PI against Artesia's CB that time. We're going to have to wait to see if they call the touchdown first. Eagles, of course, will decline it. The score's going to count. Don't worry about the PI. They'll take the TD instead. 8-yard snag as Eagles add on to the scoreboard. And that was a catch for, guess who, Coach? Hawkes.
Yeah, Double J, Jeremiah Hawkes right there. Goes up over him again. I tell you what, for somebody 5'7", he's playing like somebody 6'3". He just goes up and over and says, this is my ball. There ain't nothing you can do about it.
8 catches, 186 yards, and 4 touchdowns tonight, Coach, for Hawkes with the connect from Argot.
I think he's going to get a little bit of attention in the paper this week for sure.
Definitely doing the job there, and he had coverage right on his butt that time, and his waist and his chest. I mean, the guy was bumping into him. He still came back a little bit on that back line in the left corner of the or right corner of the end zone, and able to pull that down for the TD.
That's focus and concentration. Never took his eye off the ball, saw it into his hands, and just basically sloughed off the contact.
Van Landingham will step up now. They get another jump coming from the left side of the line. Artesia's had some issues with that quite a bit of this ball game. Not very disciplined on that left line for the defense, and that's why last week they had 15 penalties, and they got the double digits again tonight, over almost going up to 2 fields worth of penalty markers in this
I know
game.
Coach Moppin probably is taking a few antacids on that sideline. He's just absolutely frustrated with the penalties.
And that one is kind of crazy. It's only going to go from the 3 to the 1.5, so a 1.5-yard penalty against Artesia. Actually, they've kind of slowed down the penalties here in the second half, here in the 3rd quarter. So Van Landingham.
And we're going to decline it.
Well, that's right, yeah. I mean, if you're going to kick the ball, getting closer ain't going to help you on those PATs, that close at least. So still going to stay at the 3-yard line. Here's a kick from Van Landingham. Little curve on this one, gets it inside that right upright and puts it through. 33 seconds remaining here in the 3rd. Hope you brought your sleeping bag because this game ain't over yet. 55-41, Hobbs up by 14. We're back in 60 on the Hobbs Eagle Network.
You're clear. $30. $10.
Would you mind having them add 30 minutes to the total broadcast?
Okay, 3, 2, 1, go.
Eagles keep the ball on the ground for the kickoff. Van Landingham down the near sideline left, out across the 30, and return man to the 40. About a 10-yard return for Artesia. And that was Cody Johnson. So good field position. Artesia's had a lot of chances near midfield with a lot of their series in this game, but Hobbs has been kicking on the ground and see if they can get him to fumble. Artesia, pretty a sure-hand team on the kick returns usually over the years.
They practice it a lot because they do it a lot.
And they've taken care of business quite a bit of this ball game, although they've had some turnovers as well. A total of 4 up to this point. 2 fumbles and 2 INTs. Hobbs with 4 as well. At the 40, 1st and 10, Artesia left hash. They trail by double digits. Back to pass. Estrada, he'll roll right. Going to keep towards the 40, then lets it loose. Little curl at the 50, caught by Artesia. Up across the 45. The Eagles a fumble to the 40-yard line. Eagles going to dive on the football, and it looks like Hobbs might have recovered here late in the 3rd quarter.
Another turnover, and that's the way you turn things around in a game. Have a 14-point lead. Now, a 14-point lead. Now you get the ball back. You can shake it up to a 3-score lead. That is big going into the fourth.
So Artesia gives it up at the 41-yard line. Double checking to see who that might have been on there. I think it was Fierro. That would have been about a 15-yard pickup. So that's the 5th turnover of the ball game. That one a 3rd fumble for Artesia at the 41. 1st and 10 for the Eagles on their side of the field on the left hash. Twins left and right. Shotgun. Argot with a hard count here. Hands it off around the right side. Dance it up the middle now, Armendariz. And he's brought down shy of the 45. About 3-yard pickup for Armendariz. He's had 6 carries for 25 yards here in the ball game. And the Eagles can run some clock a little bit here as that does get the 3rd quarter clock expired. Any bet on how long this 4th quarter is going to last, Coach?
Well, if I have to bet, I'm betting, man, it's going to be longer rather than shorter.
90. I mean, you look at those numbers. 96 points, or was it 95 points on the 96 points?
96 points.
Almost a century mark coming up here.
I do want to say that there'll be exactly 12 minutes of football played. You know, the amount of real time, who knows?
Be a late return for Artesia. We're going to keep it right here as we get ready for the 4th quarter. Next week, of course, the Eagles take on Roswell High. A pretty big win for them last week, taking on Lovington in Roswell. Of course, Lovington, the defending state champs from the 4A. Roswell's been an up-and-comer, really improved over the last 5 or so years up there in the Wool Bowl. And, of course, that's a road trip for the Eagles. More of a collegiate-like atmosphere up there. That's New Mexico Military Institute right next door there. Of course, they were the national champions this past year in football.
Yeah, absolutely. We got a great thing going. And, you know, Hobbs graduate Gavin Hardison played there before transferring to UTEP. And he was part of the group that really started getting things turned around there before they started to go on this great run. And nice little program they got going right now.
Hobbs coming back with a 2nd down and 8 here in the 4th quarter. Left hash as they lead 55-41, up by 14, 2 touchdowns. They're going to go with the handoff. Stutter step up the middle. Dancing to the right, 50, 45. Armendariz down to the 41-yard line for the Hobbs Eagles into Artesia territory. That'll be 18, make it 17 for Armendariz. That's his best run of the ball game. He's got 42 yards on 7 carries and will be the 18th first down for the Eagles to move the chains.
You can see a difference in the secondary for Artesia. Early in the game, they were coming up and trying to put hits. Now they're on their back heels, just kind of sitting there.
Trips left, receiver right, shotgun Argot. Gives the handoff again up the middle. And plowing straight ahead is Armendariz again. He's going to get close to 5, make it 4 for Armendariz. Keeping that clock running now. The Eagles, a little bit of a cushion, Coach. It's been kind of nail-biting time. The Eagles with single-digit leads for a lot of this second half. But Artesia's got to be getting tired at some point.
Yeah, and you can see that. The safeties are not coming up to make hits when the guys are running. They're just kind of walking toward the play. And if he breaks one, the safeties aren't ready for it.
2nd down and 6 down from the 37 of the Bulldogs. Eagle football. Argot back in the backfield. To Armendariz around the right end. They're just going to keep grinding it, but he's met in the backfield. Actually, original line of scrimmage, and he's going to go back even further towards the midfield stripe. Eagles trying to help out with the blocks. Now he lost the football. Was he down, though, close to about the 48-yard line? He just continued to go back and back and back. I don't know how much forward progress they're going to give him, but at the last second, it looked like they might have called it dead, but there was a big scrum pile. Now we got somebody injured in there.
Yeah, a few people getting up a little gimpy. There's an Artesia player that's not getting up, and he's staying there.
Looks like they're going to mark it as a 10-yard loss back at the 48 near mid-stripe here for the Eagles.
And, you know, you want to keep going forward. Sometimes you can turn around and make one of those plays, but it's usually rare. Because by the time you turn around, they're already rallying to the ball. So there's usually nowhere to go. In that place, he turned around twice, went backwards twice, and ended up being a 10-yard loss.
And that's the first negative rush for the game for Armendariz. Of course, you always blame the running back, though, if that many guys are getting through against you, though.
Well, you know, you're right. Somebody missed a block. He got hit. But in that situation, you don't want to run backwards. Then he was trying to make a play. The kid was playing hard. He figured he could bounce it. He saw daylight, and unfortunately it didn't work out for him. But you don't want to ever be running backwards.
Big play here for the Eagles, 3rd and 17 at the Artesia 48-yard line on the right hash. Artesia with 3 in the front line for the defense, and they've been doing that most of the game. Trips left, receivers 2 to the right for the Eagles. Argot will take the shotgun. fakes the pitch, and then he's going to step up in the pocket. He has to put his head down as the no receivers open, except one in the middle was open on a post route. He didn't see him, but he has to duck down, and he'll get maybe a yard and a half, make it a yard there, but brings up a 4th down. I'm kind of anxious to see what's going to happen here. The Eagles, if they're going to punt it, they got to get some air underneath this punt. They don't want to drill it too hard. It's going to be a touchback.
And he had Evan Ortega across the middle, but at the point where Ortega broke free, he had already dropped the ball down to his hip and started to run. And at that point, you can't bring it back up and try to throw. That's when fumbles occur. So.
Plus, he was very close to the line of scrimmage on the left side, and the receiver down there towards the middle, he probably didn't have any vision of that, trying to get his head swiveled around there just to get a gap to get away from the pressure. 4th down and about 17, make it 16 at the 47-yard line. Eagles taking some time here. Single receiver left, 2 right, and coach just kind of waiting to see what the defense was going to give him. I don't think there was a hard count on that one.
No, it wasn't a hard count. It was, I'm going to wait till every second on the clock possibly expires, and then I'm going to call the timeout.
Of course, I can't see the scoreboard. You got a better angle than me there. So
yes, sir. And I understand the strategy of the moment. You know, it's you want to take as much time off the clock. You got 2 touchdown lead, and you're punting the ball. If they come down to score in 3 minutes, but you take another extra 15 seconds, and you end up having to punt again and you do it, you could take almost a half minute off the clock doing that, using a couple of timeouts and making that clock go all the way. So
now you're a former print journalist, numerous newspapers you were belonging to and being a part of. If you had to make a headline for this game, I'm going to give you a few minutes to think about it. What would you put on this one? 96 points on the scoreboard, but that's part of it, I guess. That's part of your story, but what's your headline?
I'll have to think about that one. That's a good one.
4th down and 16. The Eagles will punt back at their 42-yard line. Get some good air on it. Spiral. Hopefully it doesn't get to the end zone. Caught at the 5. They call fair catch. And Artesia's not even going to try to run it back. Eagles getting some decent coverage down that far sideline in front of Artesia's bench. And I'm happy to see guys that are chugging it down there. I mean, we're talking some speed from Canyon Johnson, 6'4", 235. He was one of the first guys back there to make coverage for
Good
Hobbs.
effort there. Good effort. I got your headline for you now.
What's that?
Yeah, Hobbs wins track meet.
Okay. That's pretty conservative there, Coach.
Yeah. On the spot, quick. Here we go.
55-41, 96 points on the scoreboard, 9:37 remaining. 1st and 10 from the 5, left hash for Artesia. Fake the handoff, quick dump on the slant over to the 7-yard line. The Eagles going to wrap this one up quickly, maybe about a 2-yard on the forward progress, connection on the pass.
And, yeah, he got hit quickly. Play was actually made by C.J. Romero, who basically pushed his defender all the way up on him, made him cut back into traffic. So Romero did a good job on the force.
So complete on that one to Fierro. That's his 3rd catch for 26 yards. And so far in this game, 9 receivers have caught the ball for Artesia as they're faced now with the 2nd down and 7 from about the 8-yard line. Shotgun, back to pass is Estrada. He's going to launch it down the middle of the field in the seed run. Overthrows and intercepted at the 40. Eagles return to the 35 left hash. 30, 25, 20, sideline, 15, and down to the 12-yard line. Return man after the INT from the Eagles, Jordan Chisholm, and he wanted to take that one to the house.
And Chisholm just sat there like a center fielder. That ball was so overthrown. Chisholm just stood back there like it was a high punt and waited for it, collected it, and got a good return.
Referee's having a discussion here. I'm trying to see where the flag is at. It must be in front of the Hobbs Eagle bench. We got a hurt player flat on his back. It was on the return. I think there might have been an illegal high block here, but looks like it might be is that a Hobbs Eagle or Artesia
That's
player?
an Artesia player on the ground. That was the one that actually was hit kind of low and in the back. And that's why he went down, is it was a block in the back that he wasn't expecting.
That's going to be leaving the field. They get him up. Jeremiah Gonzalez, the senior guard for Artesia. I believe that's going to be a 15-yard penalty. I didn't see the official make there, so I missed what kind of block they called that, whether it's high or low that time. But that's going to be a 15-yarder back to the 36. But Hobbs has got the interception in the books just on the return there. So a 15-yarder against the Eagles. In fact, I believe that was their first 15-yarder of the ball game. So they've been kind of clean in terms of.
Well, they had the unnecessary roughness as well.
Right. 35-yard line now at the left hash. 1st and 10 for the Eagles after the INT. And they got another man jumping, this time the nose guard over the ball that time. And Going to be a 5-yarder against Artesia, not learning their lesson. And those are the type of things coaches just turn the video on and start pointing. You can't question that. I mean, you got to watch the football.
And, you start like putting punishments for it. You start saying, okay, that's an extra set of, 100 yards added to conditioning at the end of practice.
We have 1st and 5 for the Eagles at the 30-yard line. Pump fake, throw it down the near sideline on the fade, and diving catch towards the front pylon left of the end zone. Boy, talk about a Superman attempt there with the cape behind flying out there for the Eagles. Beautiful attempt there by Ethan Van Landingham. Had himself sprawled out in the air, and I'm sure took a wallop on the gut and lost some air on that one as he hit the turf.
Yeah, he gave it his all on that one. Argot just get a little bit under the ball, let it too much.
Of course, a good communication and eye contact with that quarterback and the receiver, and the defender back there with his back to the football had no idea where that ball was going to come down at.
I like the pump fake, too. That was a really good pump fake.
2nd down and 5 from the 30 left hash. Fake the handoff. Argot's going to head right with it. After faking left, drags some people on his back, saddle style to the 24, and he needed to get to the 25. That should be enough for the first down, 6-yard pickup for the QB.
And most of the plays where we pull guard tackle from the backside have been very successful plays for us, no matter who carries the ball.
Coach, 19 first downs. You got to love that stat for the Eagles.
Oh, yeah. I mean, offensive stats look great minus the turnovers. Defensive stats, well, I'm not sure there are any.
1st down and 10 for the Eagles at the 25. Twins left, receiver right. Shotgun for Argot with Baeza. Baeza will get the handoff. Heads up the middle. He's pulling people, too, to the 22-yard line. Another 3-yard pickup, maybe 4 for Baeza.
And more importantly, it allows you to burn some clock.
I'm going to say his knee went down a little early, so 3 for him at the 21. 7:55 left in the 4th. Hobbs up by 14, 55-41 over the Bulldogs. Hobbs losing last year on the road at the Bulldog Bowl, but that Bulldog team went on to the state championship, lost to Los Lunas. Of course, the Eagles in the playoffs as well. Hobbs looking to the sideline, getting some signals from Coach Stevens, checking their wristbands now. Trips left, receiver right for the black and gold. Argot will back up into the shotgun along with Baeza. Handoff, heading right, cutting back up, hurdles to the 15, 10, spin, 5, touchdown, Baeza from the 21 in. He's got another TD on for the Eagles.
And there's that tornado move. He comes up, safety puts a helmet on him, and he just spins out of it for the touchdown.
Yeah, matching his number on his uniform, 21 yards unofficially on that carry. His 2nd TD of the ballgame, had 1 for 5 in the first half. A lot of players are starting to rack up some points. Trevino's had a couple of TDs. Argot scored 1. Baeza with the 2 rushing touchdowns. Hawkes, he's the man of the hour, 4 TDs in the pass reception game. And now it's Mr. Van Landingham's had a lot of work tonight kicking it through, huh, Coach?
Yeah, they might be getting a little bit tired out there.
Ethan Van Landingham, I don't like those lights going off every 5 seconds. I'm going to start to get a migraine here. How do they do that? I mean, is that part of the circuitry?
That's the new lights that we got. We actually.
I know that, but how does it work?
Yeah, they've got a computer system in there that runs it. You just hit a button and it does it for you. Everything's automated.
Don't get too
days.
technical on me here now.
Yeah, there's a button. Yeah.
Well, we got the score up now to 62-41, 21-point lead. We'll take a quick 30-second break and come back live on HobbsAmerica.com, YouTube, the Hobbs Sports page, and let's not forget about the radio, Cool 95.7.
You're clear. Fifteen. 5, 3, 2, 1, go.
Welcome back to Watson Stadium. 62-41, your score. Here's the voice of the Eagles, Ty Friend.
Rub your eyes, Coach. 103 points on that scoreboard.
I'm glad we got a nice brand new scoreboard that counts that high.
Van Landingham will keep the kick on the ground. The roll to the 36, brought up on the right hash to the 40 for Artesia. Spin, breaking a tackle, dragging black and golds with him to the 47. So more good field position for Artesia. They've been pretty consistent about getting it back, but of course the kicks have been short on purpose. And the return man that time was Caden Joy.
And, it looked like a little rugby scrum there at the end. everybody ends up on the ball about the same time, and you just start pushing the pile.
Now, if you're a scout for Roswell, do you learn anything about this game and Hobbs' tendencies, or is it just kind of a brouhaha?
You've seen enough offense for sure, but yeah, you always learn something. Game film is game film for a reason.
Twins right, receiver left for Artesia. Estrada in the backfield waits for the shotgun. He's going to throw the slant route, but into the turf at the 42. No chance for the pickup on the catch there, as the intended for. That was Cody Johnson, and he got through the defenders a little bit, but he was in stride. Unfortunately, a low throw for the quarterback for the incomplete.
Yeah, good defensive pressure there. Estrada's trying to get rid of the ball quickly and just didn't put enough mustard on it.
Haven't seen any pass attempts for Deans as the backup quarterback. I mean, a lot closer game last week. He had about, I think, 15 attempts or something in there as a backup. 2nd down and 10 now. Shotgun, short one. Pass from the 40 over to the left side. Curl around at the 50. Artesia fans want a PI. There comes a late flag, and you heard the roar of the crowd first, and then the flag comes out. A little curl back at the left side of the line there, and a little bit of a straddle over the top by the Hobbs Eagle defense.
Yeah, it looked like Hernandez there was trying to get in front of it to try to get the interception. He grabbed the jersey as he did, and the other player tried to step away from him. You could just see that pull real easy. Yeah, he got called.
Second 15-yarder against the Eagles. That will move the chains for Artesia. They've had some issues with first downs compared to Hobbs. 9 total for the Orange and 19 for the Eagles. 1st and 10 for the Bulldogs in Hobbs territory now at the 38-yard line.
We've thrown so many flags, this referee crew is going to have to get the liniment out.
Shotgun, back to pass with a pump fake. Dumps it in the right flat. Catch is made. Brought up the middle of the 30. 25, hit to the right hash, and brought to the 25 is where he stops at. That'll be 14 yards. And that reception for Artesia was from Grant Johnson.
Singleton on the tackle there for the Eagles.
Brings up another first down. That's their 10th. Ball at the 26 of the Eagles. Right hash. Back to pass. With the slant route to Estrada, connects with the 19-yard line and his receiver up underneath it as it's pulled down by Devin Fierro.
Artesia's really kind of settled down this series, and they're just playing pitch and catch coming right up the field.
Fierro with 8 yards. He's got 4 catches now for 34 yards. 2nd down and 7 for the Bulldogs. Shotgun again to Estrada. Back to pass from the 25. Lofts it to left corner, a flag route, and it'll be over the hands of his receiver at about the 5-yard line. Goes out of bounds. That fade to the far left side near the Artesia bench. Incomplete, but it does stop the clock for the Bulldogs. But they have a big deficit to deal with 6:25 remaining in the game. 62-41. Eagles up by 3 touchdowns.
Yeah, Artesia, if they're going to make any run here, they're going to have to do it on this series.
3rd down and 3 from the 19 of the Eagles. Middle of the field now. Twins right and left. Do the delay handoff up the middle of the 15. Plunging ahead to the 12. That will be enough for the first down. About 9 on the pickup. On the dive. And that'll move another chain situation here for Artesia.
And that really after settling down, their offense looked really solid. At this point, somebody needs to make a play, or Artesia's going to go right into the end zone.
Artesia's going to hurry up the play now, getting backpedal on the pass. Throws a dump towards the line of scrimmage. The ball was dropped. I'm not sure why everybody was scrambling like it was a fumble, but that was a forward pass regardless. It hit the turf. Incomplete. Hobbs had a taste of that one for just a second. It looked like Cameron Hernandez was coming in there, wanted to scoop that up and go.
Well, that quarterback was backtracking because it was an intentional inside screen, but they got on him so quickly they forced the throw to change.
2nd down and 10 from the 15-yard line. They dump it in the left flat and actually left out route to close to the first down marker. Might be about an 8-yard reception on that far sideline in front of the Artesia bench.
Yeah, they look like they're marking it right about the 3, maybe the 2.5.
That was a connect to Devin Fierro again. He's been called a few times on these last plays. 3rd down and about 1. Need to get to the 2-yard line. The option right. Now the pass on the run, and there's a man wide open, the right side of the end zone. Eagles lost coverage on him. That was Caden Joy. A little flick out to the right side and the stop and throw, and that will be another score for the Bulldogs.
And that was the running back, Bradley Valenzuela, who made the throw after getting the pitch.
That's Joy's 2nd touchdown of the ball game. About a 5-yard pass into the end zone. As we wait for the PAT, trying to get it down to a 14-point deficit for the Bulldogs with 5:59 remaining here in the 4th. Still plenty of time, though. They scored twice quickly late in the second quarter, and we got a flag as the snap comes back. Also hit off the left upright, shaking the whole field goal post there. Looks like got a false start for the white and orange. Another 5-yard penalty.
And, of course, we can't take the missed extra points, because it was actually a dead ball.
That'll back it up 5. Listening live to Hobbs Eagle Football on Cool 95.7, HobbsAmerica.com, and on YouTube, the Hobbs Sports page. We'll be with you next week, 6:45 pregame in Roswell, taking on the Roswell High Coyotes from the Wool Bowl. Another delay here. Whitecap blows the play dead again. No flag call, and I think they have a problem with where the ball's marked. The umpire's having to run up there to change it. Again, they're inside that goal box, so the lines are there's extra lines out there.
Yeah, they were a yard short. They gave it to him at the 7 instead of the 8.
So Artesia's going to be kicking from the 15, about a 25-yard field goal for just 1 point instead of 3 on the PAT. Snap a little high, kick is up, and Greathouse will put it through the uprights. 5:59 left here in the fourth. We're still plodding along here at Watson Stadium. Eagles up 62-48. 110 points on the scoreboard, back in 60.
You're clear. $30. $10. $5. 3, 2, 1, go.
Artesia ready to kick off from the 40. Expect an onside kick. They trail the Eagles by 14 here late in the fourth. It is a bouncer, and it's going to cross. No, it doesn't get to the 50. It stops for some reason. Eagles going to dive on it and stop it at the 47 in Artesia territory. So the ball is about 3 yards shy where it needed to be. It has to go at least 10 yards. The Eagles can decide to cover it like they did there, and they want to have the ball in Artesia territory.
And I'm sure the special teams coach is sitting there with his finger saying, come here, come here, come here. There was no reason to jump on that ball.
Yeah, if you can back it up a little bit more, it would have been a 5-yard penalty.
I see that discussion going on.
Eagle football, 48-yard line of the Bulldogs in their territory, midfield. Hobbs will send 2 receivers right, single slot back on the left side, and a receiver left as well in front of the Hobbs bench. Eagles going right to left on the radio dial. Fake, handoff up the middle. Argott gives it off, 40, 35, 30, and continuing on is Armendariz with a back pedal and a spin down at the 28-yard line, going from the 49 to the 28, 21-yard pickup for Armendariz. And I believe that's his best run of the night. Yes, it is. He had a 17-yarder earlier in this half.
And that was a nice read by Armendariz. He stepped towards where he thought the hole was going to be. It wasn't there. He danced sideways with 2 steps, paused, waited for the hole to develop, straight through it. Great running.
20th first down, and what about the fake from Argott coming around the left side? A good fake on that hip, and again, he'd already handed out the football by that time.
Very important that quarterbacks do that.
1st and 10 from the 28. Eagles knocking on the door here, but taking a lot of time to run that clock. Receivers 2 right, 1 left. Argott gives it again, this angle right, and Armendariz, even though it looked like he's going to be dropped in the backfield, trying to move the pile, but there's a late flag coming in, and might be some grabbing on that face mask possibly, and everybody called dead there. Never got knocked to the floor, but they did stop the action. So I think he got at least a yard on that, or maybe 2. Forward progress. No, they're going to say behind the line of scrimmage. Backed him up to the 30, but maybe the penalty will move him forward.
Yeah, I think they just moved the ball to where the penalty is because they're expecting to walk it off.
Personal foul face mask. That will. Now this is going to be interesting. It's close to the 30. Or it's past. It's at the 30. It's inside the 30. It'll have to be half the distance. It looked like they had it at the 29.
Probably at the 14 is what I'm guessing.
They gave him a 1-yard carry on that one for Armendariz. So they kind of wish they could have it past the 30. That would be the whole 15 yards. And as you said, it's going to be right about where you said, 14. I'm going to put the nose of the football at the 15, inside of it just a bit. That will be a first down. 21 in the ball game for the Eagles, moving the chains. Twins right, receiver left. Clock down to 5:04 remaining and ticking. Eagles by 14 at the 14-yard line of the Bulldogs. Long delay on the snap. Argot looking left and right, making sure everybody's set.
Wasting the time.
Yeah, he's got the game clock or field clock down to 5 seconds. Then he gets the snap. Holds the ball for a second in the gut of the running back going left. That was Armendariz. The flag is flying, probably a hold on the line there. And that time, you mentioned that in the first half of keeping that ball in the gut, but did it get stuck that time, or was that all part of the action there?
I think it got stuck that time. I think Armendariz just didn't want to let it go, which was his job. I think Argot was trying to pull it out and because he saw the same hole, but Armendariz ended up jumping back into the hole that Argot was going to go through.
Argot doing the cesarean section there, trying to pull that baby back to him, I guess, on that one. That's going to be against the Eagle holding penalty, 10-yarder.
Yeah. And that's just the way it's supposed to work sometimes. They got that H back in. They got the lineman back in, Aiden Kays back in to be the H back.
Clock at 4:41 left, fourth quarter. Hobbs 62, Bulldogs 48. 110 points on the scoreboard in this one. Be first down and 20 now. Back of the 24-yard line. Twins right, receiver left. They have a slot left. Argot waiting for a shotgun. He's going to take it himself, going left to the near side, left hash, 20, and thrown down ahead to the 15. Getting a piece of him for Artesia, throwing him the wrong way towards the Eagles' end zone. Caden Zuniga.
And that'll not only get them, 10 of the yards back that they needed all the way up there, it's also burned some clock because there's a run play and the clock keeps moving.
Artesia's got 3 timeouts remaining, too. They're not too urgent to call them with 4:09 remaining. I know, is a white flag up over on that sideline?
No, I don't think so at all. You might want to wait till under 3 before you start.
Now from the 15 of the Bulldogs, left hash for the Eagles. A couple of guys in the backfield to block for Argot. Got a receiver left and right. He's going to take the ball himself, angling left, and has 3 orange guys on top of him as he drags him forward on the harness look there. Now there'll be a timeout, as you mentioned, Coach. 3-yard pickup for Argot, and Artesia wants to stop the clock.
A little bit of a shaken up player there. One of the Eagles, that's Oscar Mascarenas, who was the left tackle, I believe, on that one, kind of plowing forward, got rolled up on.
We're going to send it back to the station to Tiffany. It's 3:47 remaining here in the fourth. Hobbs 62, Artesia 48. Back in 30 seconds on the Hobbs Eagle Network.
You're clear. Ten. 5. 3, 2, 1, go.
Back here at Watson Stadium, your Hobbs Eagles lead Artesia 62-48 after a timeout for the Bulldogs. 3:47 remaining. Coach, you got some Lee County scores for us?
Absolutely. And Lee County's done real good tonight. They've had some great games here. We got Tajal 57, Tularosa 7. Eunice 41, Estancia 12, Levington the lone loser. They fell to Seminole 46-6, and Tatum.
Mercy will win, huh?
Yeah, Mercy will win 68-0 over Alamo Navajo.
They're down at 8 from the 12. Hobbs football, 3:47 remaining, up by 14. Shotgun, Argot going to roll right with it. He's the quarterback keeper to the 10. Continues at the block 5. He's diving towards the goal line. Probably went down about the 1. So he's definitely going to get the first down plus. About 12 yards on the play for Argot. Make it more like 11. They're going to say he went down about the 2. Moves the chains for the Eagles. And Argot continues to get some big-time runs in this game. He's got a total of 8 double-digit runs for the Hobbs Eagle offense.
And that we talked about at the start of the season, the one thing that he brings, that added dimension of a quarterback that can be a running back. And now you have all that misdirection in the backfield. It's just amazing.
Also had that 12-yard touchdown run as well in the second half. 3:14 and ticking here. Eagles now with 22 first downs. They have it at the 2-yard line. Shotgun Argot leading it ahead, and there's the man with the football, and rambling into the end zone is Mr. Baeza. as he has scored his third rushing touchdown of the ball game. This one the shortest of just 2 yards.
Yeah, he just stuck his nose right there behind that H-back Aiden Kays and just plowed themselves into the end zone. And it's nice to be able to have a big man back there and have a power game.
He's got runs of 2, 5, and 21, all 3 of those for touchdowns. And well over, looks like he's well over the 100 mark now. As the Eagles are going to extend the lead. They lead by 20, pending the PAT would be 21. As here comes Van Landingham, using that leg quite a bit tonight. And this barely gets inside the left upright. And it's 69-48. Hobbs by 21 with 3:05 remaining. Back to the station. You're listening live to Hobbs Eagle Football on the Cool 95.7, HobbsAmerica.com, on YouTube, the Hobbs Sports page.
You're clear. How long did you need?
30.
Okay, just making sure. Five, 3, 2, 1, go.
Welcome back to Watson Stadium. 69-48. Your Eagles are up on the Bulldogs of Artesia. 3:05 on the clock here in the fourth. Now here's the voice of the Hobbs Eagles, Ty Friend.
Just a reminder, next week we'll be on the road in Roswell. Roswell High Coyotes hosting the Eagles at the Wool Bowl. 6:45 pregame, kickoff at 7 o'clock. Of course, the Eagles looking for a 3-0 record after that game next week. Coach, how about this pre-district schedule? Been pretty so far so good, I guess?
So far so good. I mean, this is the team that was supposed to give us fits. And they did give us fits, but we're looking really good here if we can just finish this off.
Van Landingham puts a little bit more air on it this time, rolls out to the 10, picked up on the right hash for the Bulldogs, bouncing into black and golds all over, and not much of a return down to the 12 on the near sideline. And we got bodies flopping over each other, extracurricular activity, and hopefully nobody's going to start punching after that. We had that old drill I remember back in the day where you have the log roll where you jump over the top and roll underneath the guy, and then he comes up over the top of you. That's what it looked like, and that was way away from the play. I mean, just guys just
yeah, they basically hard. Double teamed. They were trying to pancake old Boston Hatfield, number 90 for the Eagles. Hatfield was just trying to maintain his body, and eventually they all just kind of fell down.
14-yard line. That's where the Bulldogs are on the right hash. Back to pass is Estrada. He's going to nail over to the left side. The catch made. A nice hit for the Eagles there. Still forward for a gain on the play. 4-yard pickup.
I do love that these defensive backs for the Eagles love to come up and make a hit. And you know, I think that was Nathan Ciceros over there, Isaac Flanagan. I can't tell if it's 4 or 5 from this distance.
That was a 5-yard pass. Now they go at the curl route on the far sideline, catch at the 28. That will be a first down. So 2 quick passes, 4 and 7 yards, and that will be a first down for Artesia, their 11th first down of the ball game.
Yeah, they're going to keep throwing those out passes as long as you're giving it to them. They're just trying to get up the field here.
They're at the 30-yard line, making the 29 of their own, but the clock's not their ally. 2:25 remaining. Twins left and right, man in motion left to right. Fake the handoff on the reverse. They're going to throw the fade on the near side, more closer to the Hobbs Eagle defenders on the near right sideline, and the receiver is about 10 yards behind the pass. Hobbs continue to sprint, though. That's a good sign of a well-coached team. You're not just going to stop because the receiver's not in the area. Get still a chance to pick off a ball. That was Isaiah Jackson and Hector Armendariz with the coverage on the near side. And, boy, they were guarding each other that time. They were so wide open.
Jackson pushed it so hard, I think that he kind of tweaked himself. He kind of grabbed that hamstring a little bit after that play.
First down, or make it second down and 10 now off the incomplete pass for the Bulldogs. At the 29-yard line with 2:18 remaining, clock stop due to the incomplete. 2 receivers left and right, shotgun. Go with the slant route. Catch made at the 34. Another bad hit, and it's right in the numbers, knocking the ball out, fumble. And we're waiting for the signal from the officials. It should be a clean fumble there. He did have a possession of the football on the catch, and that will be Hobbs' ball. Another fumble. I've got to have to see who put the wallop on him that time.
The wallop was put on by Singleton, who just stuck that helmet right between the screws and just drilled him, and that ball came popped loose.
That would have been a 3-yard. It was a 3-yard pickup, and then unfortunately for Artesia, got it jarred out of his hands, and Hobbs will get that fumble recovery. So the Bulldogs having some issues with turnovers in this game, 7 total. A total of 4 fumbles and 3 INTs, and Eagles should just run the clock out with 2:08 remaining here. Twins left and 1 receiver right.
1 first down will probably do it.
29-yard line, shotgun Argot. Going to push it up the middle in the handoff. I think there's a new player just checked in here. Didn't recognize that body physique, and we'll see if that is somebody new. Couple-yard pickup.
I don't see that number, but I thought it was Saul Armendariz in there.
Yep, he still is, number 7. And he gets ahead for about 6 on that one.
I do like this new wrinkle with that H-back, bringing a lineman in as H-back. And he's eligible. I haven't heard him declare eligible, but he's eligible even though it's number 72.
2nd down and 5. Eagles taking some time now, just looking at the sideline. They don't have to rush it. Clock running with 1:20 remaining here in the fourth. 69-42 or 69-48. 21-point lead for the Eagles. 7 seconds on the game or the field clock. Twins left, receiver right. Shotgun to Argot. Hands around the right side and going down quickly to the 25 behind the line of scrimmage. Joe lost about 1.5 yards that time.
I'm sure.
Oh, he's coming up limping too. Is Armendariz.
I'm sure there's some gamemanship going because Jaquez is over there blocking, trying to open up a hole for him. And Jaquez just got a pancake on the corner, and that corner got up John. So I'm sure there's some heated discussions going on out there.
Clock ticking with the tackle there. 40 seconds left in the contest. Still a 3-touchdown lead. The whole team just looking to the sideline and saying, hey, Coach, do we have any more plays that we have to run? Yep, the field clock at 14. The clock on the board, 30 seconds, game clock.
One more should do it.
They're back up to the line of scrimmage now. They better hurry up here. They're end up stopping the clock with the delay of game here. That's going to happen, too.
Yeah, they're going to go ahead and take the delay of game. They're going to line up in victory, down it, and call it a night.
Hobbs will go to 2-0 on the season. Artesia drops to 1-1. Again, they almost lost last week except for a last 6-second kickoff return by Saez to get the 3-point win over Carlsbad. So going to be some tough battles in that district. Of course, Hobbs and Carlsbad will go at it the last game of the season in November, or actually last week in October. You can hear the chants of "Start the Bus" from the Hobbs faithful here at Watson Stadium.
That's got to be a long trip home, when it's 11 o'clock at night before you're even thinking about getting out of the stadium. Even later than that, it's probably going to be almost 12 o'clock before you eat, and you're home by 2.
Got to the game late, too, because of that wreck coming into Hobbs from Artesia. 3rd down and 11 for the Eagles at the Artesia 30-yard line on the right hash. If the clock gets down to 15, kneel down for Argot. Lose about 1 yard on the play. That's about it. Hobbs fans starting to cheer here as they know the Eagles are undefeated, 2-0. Kind of a rocky start, Coach, down 13-0 with a big turnaround after that.
Shows you the heart of a champion right there. You're down 13-0, and then down 21-7. And had some really bad luck. And instead of just folding over, they just got mad and found a way to fight back into this and ended up winning by 21. So great job there for the Eagles.
Eagles lost last year on the road, but this time they get the W against Artesia here at Watson Stadium. Again, the final 69-48. We had 117 points on the scoreboard. Both teams shaking hands. We're going to take a 3-minute break, come back with the Hobbs Eagle post-game show on Cool 95.7, HobbsAmerica.com, and on YouTube. That's the Hobbs Sports page.
You're clear. 1 minute.
Please add about 90.
Okay. One minute. $30.
One more minute, please.
One minute. $30. $15. 10. 5. 3, 2, 1, go.
Welcome back to Watson Stadium. Your Hobbs Eagles 2-0 on the season, defeating Artesia tonight in an absolute barn burner, likened it to a track meet, maybe a NASCAR race by the time it was over, and both teams putting up big numbers offensively. The Hobbs Eagles outlasting them 69-48. And I checked with Jason Farmer from the Hobbs News Sun, and we were trying to find the highest scoring combined game in Hobbs history, and he says there was one back in 2017 that was 77-35, but this one would have been more points than that. We had 117 combined points, so quite possibly this may have been the highest scoring game in Hobbs history, definitely in Watson Stadium history. So what do you think, Ty?
Well, yeah, it's pretty exciting, especially down 13-0 and all the point production after that for the Eagles to get this victory and go to 2-0 on the season. So definitely feather in the cap, Coach Stevens. This team fired up, didn't go sit down and take a defeat after being down by so many with 2 turnovers early on. Of course, Eagles returned the favor because they ended up getting 7 turnovers with Artesia, a total of 4 fumbles, 3 interceptions, 2 of those from Armandaris for the Eagles defense. Hobbs did have those 4 turnovers, 2 INTs, and 2 fumbles. So a total of 11 turnovers in this ball game. Is that sloppy ball, or is that just 2 teams so determined to win this thing that things happen?
I think it's a lot of combined everything. People were playing hard. A lot of these turnovers were sloppy. A lot of them were hits. It's a mix of everything. You can't just attribute it to one thing. But in the end, the team that came out ahead on the turnover board came out ahead in the game, and that's a key marker right there.
And, Artesia tends to be a team that takes advantage of blood in the water. But Hobbs turning the tables, not giving up too early, and taking care of business as the game progressed throughout. Let's take a look at some of the stats in this contest. First of all, for Artesia, not a big rushing night, and that's kind of an understatement, Coach. Total of 18 yards of rushing offense in this ball game.
Wow. I mean, all this offense, all the scores on the board, that number really sticks out, doesn't it?
Yeah, not much going on there at all. Their top rusher was Jesse Larock. Didn't get a lot of touches, just 4 total for 16 yards in this game. Everybody else was in single digits, and really didn't see much of a rush from the quarterback either. You mentioned a couple of times about their backup guy that saw quite a few snaps in last game against Carlsbad. Peyton Dean, who's more of a rusher, but I don't think he was behind the center one time in this game tonight, was he?
Yeah, he had a couple of them where he got back in the backfield and they just snapped it and he ran right up the middle, but that was it. I mean, it wasn't a whole lot. They didn't use him.
Yep, definitely not a running game, but of course Artesia's never been known to be a rushing team to begin with. They did have 327 yards in terms of their passing game, and a lot of guys getting involved. Johnson had 2 for 33, Saez 3 for 38. I'm not going to go through them all, but 5 for 21 for Valenzuela, Ferrero 6 for 56, Greathouse 5 for 70, Joy 3 for 65. He had a couple of touchdowns, 51 and 5 yards. So when you look at the typical Artesia play sheet here, you see a lot of receivers getting involved. Looks like 9 total getting catches in this ball game.
Yeah, they sure knew how to spread it around, and that's not part of that air raid offense. You got a lot of different targets, and you try to use all of the field. In order to use all the field, you have to use all the players as well.
So they ended up with 327 unofficially in the pass game, 18 in the throwing department for 345 the total here. 4 punts. We mentioned the 7 turnovers and over 100 yards in penalties, 14 total, about 115 was the numbers in terms of the yardage marked off, so bigger than the football field out there.
Yeah, absolutely. And, we talked at halftime about one defense settling in, and that's kind of what happened here. Our defense settled in and forced them to punt, and it became less about the turnovers and less about the offense, more about we're getting the ball back and we're going to go take it to you. So I think making them punt was awesome for the defense. They really improved in the second half.
And we talked in the pregame about the penalty situation. They had 15 last week, again almost the same this week. Going backwards for handkerchiefs, especially when numerous times it was for defensive offside penalties, encroachment, guys just not paying attention to the football, listening up to the quarterback, Argot, instead of taking care of business.
I was a little concerned. I looked at the line judge, looked at what kind of shape he was in. Maybe his elbow wasn't in the best of shape by the end of that game because he sure used it a lot.
Let's take a look at the Hobbs Eagles. Their running attack pretty potent in that game. A very close contest. These are unofficial numbers, so I'm not sure when it comes to the actual counting on the video what they'll end up having. But very close between Baeza and Argot for top honors in the rushing department. Can't get much closer than this. Baeza ended up with 17 carries, 146, and Argot 20 carries, 145.
Wow.
On the running game.
Just amazing that you can get those kind of numbers and still add the passing numbers. The offense clicking on all cylinders.
We kept mentioning throughout the game that a lot of double-digit runs for Argot, definitely seeing the field well, tucking the football, using his blockers ahead of him, and taking care of the football. 9 double-digit runs in this ball game for Argot, including a 12-yard touchdown scamper.
And, a lot of those runs were design runs, and it wasn't just him out of the pocket. We pulled the guard tackle quite a bit, and he'd keep the ball and run behind them, and that was very effective for these Eagles tonight.
Baeza, not just the numbers, 146, but also the 3 rushing touchdowns, 5, 21, and 2. So 3 TDs scored by Baeza. Didn't look like he slowed down a bit as that game progressed in the second half. And still, Coach Caden Trevino, known for a wide receiver, will come out of the slot look and come around to get the handoffs. He had a couple of rushing touchdowns, 29 and 12 for 41 yards on the ground. Both of the rushes he had were scores.
I mean, who do you guard? The list goes on and on and on. You hadn't even really talked about Jaquez yet. It's amazing how much balance we had tonight.
Eagles unofficially just shy of 400, 399 in the running game tonight. That's unbelievable numbers. Usually split that into half, and that'd be their top rushing.
Yeah,
And that's a good, very good night, but usually it's in the hundreds or so. But big game running the football and doing a good job of watching the defense and seeing what gaps they were going to be given. You talked about Hawkes in the passing game. Let's go to him now. 8 catches, 186 yards, 4 touchdowns, 22, 11, 75, and 8, and also a 47-yard catch.
and 2 of those catches were Moss's, where he Randy Moss somebody, where he went up over him and just made the play. And he ended up with Randy Moss kind of numbers. I mean, that's a kind of a tagline you used to see from Moss when he had those big games up in Minnesota.
Rest of the team kind of quiet in the passing game. Ortega had 3 for 18. Trevino had a couple of catches for 30 yards, and that's pretty much it in terms of the passing department tonight. But they didn't need it with 400 rushing yards. And Hobbs Eagles, known as a rushing team, you don't hear that very often the last few years or before Coach Stevens came aboard in his 4th year, of course. So Hobbs finishing up with only 221 passing yards, but 620 overall tonight. You mentioned the scores, the points on the board might have broke a record. We're getting high up there in terms of total yardage, too.
Yeah, I'd be kind of interested to see if that rivaled some of the teams from the 70s that put up all those yards. And I don't know. That was a great offensive performance in the end.
Another good team stat, too, Coach. All the cylinders working well. 22 first downs for the Hobbs Eagle offense.
Oh, man. Hey, those are kind of numbers that you can live with for sure.
Coach, talking about the defense, how did you feel about them tonight? Of course, Artesia kind of came out quickly, up by the big numbers, 13-0. A lot of turnovers being pushed back and forth between these two teams. But is it a bend not break mentality out there tonight?
You know, I don't want to use that because we did.
Because it's a cliche.
Yeah, well, we're going to cliche. It was the best of times. It was the worst of times because the turnovers were great. The defense forced turnovers. That was awesome. A lot of them were Roswell gifts as well. But that being said, we gave up a ton of yards. We gave up a ton of points. A lot of it was our turnovers too. And it's a mixed bag. You know, you look at the defense. They improved as the game went on, and that was the most important thing. As bad as things started, you know, which was partly the offense's fault, not the defense's fault. But as badly as we started and giving up the yards, we slowly tightened it up and slowly tightened it up. And by the end, our defense did a good job. I mean, the second half, they didn't put up all the points.
And what about the licks we were given on short passes, too, near the line of scrimmage, little quick outs, the dumps that Artesia was trying? We put some major licks in the numbers and making balls come out and fumble or incomplete passes off the fingertips.
When we played press coverage and we moved people up closer to the line of scrimmage, it was very efficient. We did give up a couple of touchdowns that way as well because we were ball hawking instead of playing our position. It's things that you need to clean up. Game film is the way to look at it. Those coaches are going to have a much better view than we did just looking at it once. They're going to find things to fix. They're going to find things to keep. This defense is going to keep getting retooled as the season goes on.
So 345 yards for Artesia in this game, 620 for the Hobbs Eagles, almost doubling the numbers of the Bulldogs. And we're getting close to our cutoff time tonight. Real quickly, previewing what's coming up next week. We'll be on the road in Roswell Friday night, 6:45 pregame, kickoff at 7. The Coyotes have outscored their opponents in 2 games this season, 119-29. They beat Lovington for game 1 by 40, 69-29, and shut out Santa Fe tonight, 50-0, Coach.
And we may have another week where we have a huge scoring game between the two teams. I tell you what, it was exciting tonight. It may be exciting next week, too.
I know Tiffany's getting tired back at the station. They're saying, hey, Brian and Ty, please be quiet. The game is over, and that is the case. We will wrap it up here tonight. 69-48, Eagles 2-0 on the season as they knock off Artesia, and they'll be undefeated as they head to Roswell next week. Again, 6:45 pregame Friday night, 7 o'clock kickoff. Thanks for watching and listening to Hobbs Eagle Football. Ty Friend and Brian Coltrane on Cool 95.7, HobbsAmerica.com, and on YouTube on the Hobbs Sports page. Have a great weekend out there.
Very clear.